Hi, this is Tim Major. I'm just going to read from Machineries of Mercy, which is about young offenders trapped in a prison modelled as a tranquil English village. So in this scene, Ethan is trapped in the virtual reality sim with a family that's not his own, and he's been made to behave. Clattering sounds from downstairs suggested that his family was preparing breakfast. Or perhaps those sounds were merely recordings to rouse Ethan from sleep. Perhaps when he wasn't in sight, the family members simply froze or even disappeared. They only existed to keep him in line. His bedroom was dimmer than normal. Without leaving his bed, he stretched up to lift a corner of the curtain. Dark clouds filled the sky, each rimmed with light. What was the phrase? Every cloud has a silver lining, except that the lining of these clouds was more of a sickly yellow. He'd once been told that weather and differences in pressure could affect people's dreams. Maybe that was why he'd slept so badly. But what were dreams, here in the sim? This entire world was a kind of dream. More to the point, which version of Ethan had actually been asleep? The Ethan avatar trapped in Touchstone, or the one out there in the real world, plugged into the computer? Had time actually passed since he closed his eyes, or had the virtual reality software only simulated the effects of sleep? He shuddered and rolled out of bed. There was no use having thoughts like that. He was stuck in Touchstone, and there was nothing he could do about it. When he entered the kitchen, his family was silent. His plate was already piled high with rashers of bacon. He helped himself to toast and made a sandwich. He had to admit the bacon tasted good, even if it wasn't real. "Hey, Ethan," Greg said, snapping into fidgety movement. "What do you think of my fort?" Ethan glanced out of the window. Ragged planks of bare wood rose above the hedge that separated the lower and upper lawns. The fort hadn't been there yesterday. If Greg really had built it, he must have been working throughout the night. "It's great," he replied. "Father thinks so too," Greg said. "Isn't that right, Father?" Ethan glanced at the imposter who called himself his father. Whoever he was, he looked thoughtful and tired. It was strange to think that a computer program could look tired. "Father thinks so too," Greg repeated. "Isn't that right, Father?" His father didn't react. He didn't even seem aware of the rest of them sitting around the table. His mother cleared her throat. "It's dark this morning." Ethan was surprised. She barely ever spoke at mealtimes. "Maybe it'll rain," he replied. She blinked, considering the idea as if rain was something she'd heard about but never seen. "If it rained, would we be all right here in the house?" She looked genuinely afraid. "Sure, you'll be all right out there too, as long as you have an umbrella." His father spoke for the first time that morning. His loud voice made Ethan jump. "Ethan, remember you have school today." "I have school every day." "And do you have an umbrella?" his mother asked. "No, I suppose I'll get wet." "You should take an umbrella." "You must go to school on time." "I know, I've got plenty of time. It's only—" Ethan looked up at the clock. It read 8:15. You're right. It's later than I thought. I'd better go." "But dear," his mother said to his father in a halting voice, "he has no umbrella." "If it rains, I will hide in my fort," Greg said gleefully. "The roof is made of tin, and no rain can get in. I'll sit in my fort and I'll invent magic tricks, and if you're lucky, I'll let you come inside too. Do you want to come into my fort, Ethan?" Greg stood on the bench to get a better look out of the window. "I don't have time," Ethan said. The thought of being trapped in such a small space with Greg for any amount of time made him shudder. He glanced at the clock again, which now read 8:05. He stuffed the rest of the bacon sandwich into his mouth and retrieved his coat from the back of the chair. He pushed past his father, who'd become motionless once again. His mother rose and smoothed her hair with shaking hands. "Go to your room, Greg, and stay out of my way. I must have time to search the house. There is an umbrella here somewhere. There must be." Greg's bottom lip stuck out petulantly. He dropped down from the bench. To Ethan, he said, "You wait. You wish you had a fort when you see mine." Ethan actually gasped at the spite in the young boy's voice. Greg ran at full pelt towards the kitchen door. Ethan winced, expecting a crunch of impact. But Greg simply kept running, melting into the surface of the door as if there were nothing there. The thump of his footsteps came from the staircase beyond. Neither parent had noticed. His father was studying a newspaper that Ethan was certain hadn't been there a moment ago. His mother paced in circles around the breakfast debris. Okay, so that's from Machineries of Mercy, published by Luna Press on 18th of August.